Hi friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. You might be wondering why I already have inky fingers, and it's actually because I just finished my video for my top 5 fountain pens from 2025. If you haven't seen that, I can link it in the cards for you to check out. But now we are doing our top 5 fountain pen inks from 2025. And I am a little bit surprised by what I ended up picking. Here we are going to do maybe I should just do it right here. You think we can do 5 inks over here? I really hope so. Alrighty, so we're using my Pilot Parallel to dip in this little mystery ink mix. It's not really a mystery per se, but a mix of a Mahjong Black Ink cartridge and Colorverse Milky Seas from the Colorverse Color Rent 2025. So this is my top 5. Okay, top 5. Let's just say inks if we can. Ink. Oh no, we have to dip again. INKS. Top 5 inks of... I am really enjoying these Pilot Parallels. Well, I only have the one, but oh my god, still getting the hang of it. Never actually really used them properly until these 2 videos. You are learning with me. I am using it as a dip pen right now, just because I don't have a cartridge prepared for it. I think it could do better with like a shading ink, especially a light one that I wouldn't normally put in a finer nib pen. That's fine. 25. Ooh. I want to say these were intentional, but I honestly just kind of winged it. I do have some calligraphy practice, but it was more so with brush pens. But the idea behind calligraphy is to be very intentional with each stroke that you make, and then embrace the surprises that come with it, I suppose. Alrighty, so that works for now. Top 5 inks of 2025. When I was gathering my inks for this video, I was actually a little surprised because when I was reflecting on which inks I actually enjoyed, I made a list, and it's a combination of the ones that stood out to me because of how beautiful they were, but also for different reasons. Like, some of them wasn't just, oh, this was the most beautiful ink of 2025. It was more so like the experience I had using those inks. So I thought that was very interesting. For instance, let me start with Pilot Iroshizuku Ku-jaku. This was an ink gifted to me by my husband for Valentine's Day one year, and I mean, there's nothing special about this ink. It's just a well-flowing Pilot Iroshizuku blue ink. However, I remember having this inked in my Sailor 1911 Realo, and that pen and ink combination was so helpful. It was so functional. When I know I've talked about it a few times, but during my wedding planning season, it was so busy that I didn't have much time to play with my pens and ink, and this one was actually already inked up for quite a while. I actually ended up bringing it with me to Washington, D.C. when we went for our mini moon, and I remember journaling in our hotel room with that Realo and this ink, and it was just so, like, of all the pens that I had inked, this one was the one that came in and it was reliable when I needed it. And so I just remember it so vividly, like being in a hotel, and this was like the only pen that I brought. I did buy the Lamy All-Star Dark Purple at Blick, but that one just came with a blue ink cartridge, and I wanted something more exciting. So I remember journaling about our adventures for the day, and because of that, this ink was kind of special. It was just like the Sailor 1911 Realo. It is the piston filler, so it holds a lot of ink compared to your regular Sailors, and even after the trip, this one it was just so handy, so reliable, so not like, what's the word? There's nothing that I needed more than just something reliable, I think, at that time. You know, I didn't need any hard starts, I didn't need any, like, drying up or anything. It was just a very good ink. And because of that, that is one of my most memorable inks from 2025. It's also just a really, really, really beautiful blue and maybe teal blue mix. Normally, I don't go for just plain non-shimmery exciting inks, but this is what I really needed at the time, and that's what stood out to me. So that also surprised me when I was trying to choose my top 5 inks, that my choices are not necessarily just based on how beautiful an ink is, but also how well it writes and what it does for me in the moments that I need it. So I thought that was really interesting. Have you guys ever experienced something like that? Like it's just there when you need it? The next ink, this is in no particular order. I forgot to number it. Oh well, maybe I could with the parallel. So this is number 1. If I can even get any ink out of it. At least I'm using up this random ink that I mixed. I know it's very messy over here, but I am trying to take advantage of a snow day to just get some filming done. 3. I hope you guys are staying nice and warm. This is one of the more brutal winters that we've experienced in quite a while. 5. There we go. All numbered and ready to go. These pilot parallels are really fun. Now I want the other nib sizes. Okay, next up, we've got this sample. It is Ferris Wheel Press Oyster Hour. This one surprised me because actually it was inked in my Sailor Rialo as well. Maybe that pen has something about it that makes me fall in love with the inks. Normally when I have a piston filler, I get really, really tired of the ink because it's just been so long and I'm like, you need to leave the pen now because I'm so sick of you. I want to change inks. I want to clean you out and put you away. But both of these were in my Rialo and I love them. It could also be because the Rialo, I think, has a lower ink capacity than other piston fillers. Like your Pelikan 800 probably would last forever. So this is Ferris Wheel Press Oyster Hour. This one I kept calling Majestic Maple Syrup until I realized that it's actually Oyster Hour. And at first I thought it would be too light, but in a pen, it actually flows really nicely and is like kind of legible, which really surprised me. And it's definitely on a lighter side of the browns, but something about this one stood out to me. Every single time I used it, I just kept thinking, wow, if I do a video at the end of the year for my top 5, this might actually be on it. There's really nothing special about it, but it just kind of surprised me because I don't normally like super light inks. This one just, I don't know. I don't know why it's on the list, but it's cooler than I thought it was. That might be the only reason. The Ku-jaku, it has some red sheen coming out. And then the Ferris Wheel Press Oyster Hour, it actually has some gray-green shading. Very interesting. Number 3, we have Birmingham Pen Company Sterling Silver. This might actually be my top favorite ink of 2025. I had this inked in my Platinum 3776 Misty Bloom. You might have seen that in the video. I thought it was a perfect match for that pen. And this ink is magical because it lays down purple, a purple silver gray, and then it dries into an indigo color. And I actually prefer the color it is when it lays down while it's still wet. But it just surprises me that the way it dries is a lighter blue. But for me, that really matches up to its name. And there's nothing more interesting than watching the process of this ink dry. I loved when I had it in this pen. It's a finer nib than this dip pen, obviously. So with each stroke, you could kind of see it. You could draw it and then see it dry, and draw it and watch it dry. And it would change in that instant, and it just was so cool to me. So Birmingham Pen Company Sterling Silver. Now I know some people actually have this ink and it looks silver to them, and apparently there might be like different batches, because I did not hear it just from just one person. I heard it from multiple people, but I also heard from other people that theirs is like blue indigo. So I don't know what sterling silver is supposed to look like. I mean, I guess it's supposed to look like silver, like jewelry, but to me, this is like the coolest thing on the planet. The coolest ink interaction, almost like sterling silver being formed when it's drying. Although mine doesn't dry silver, it dries blue. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. The reason why I like this ink so much is because of the way it acts while it's drying. From the process of it being laid down, me being able to watch it, and then watch the color shift as it dries is mind-blowingly cool. I also did not prepare myself for this video, so I am rambling a little bit, but I hope that is okay with you guys. And you can see while I was talking, some of it dried. Like, look at that. It's so cool. You have to try this ink. Look, very, very cool. It'll be blue soon. Alrighty, 2 more inks to go. This one is the Atramentis Document Black, and I bought this one because Helen from the Coffee Monsters Co. was always talking about it and how she had it inked in her Pilot Vanishing Point. And let me tell you guys, when I was talking about Ku-jaku ink being reliable and just there for me, this ink was also. I'm surprised that you can put it in your Pilot Vanishing Point and you can wait a few days and still be able to write almost instantly, especially for a document ink. When everyone says document inks, you gotta like, or at least for like the platinum carbon ones, you have to not keep it in your inactive pen or else it'll get all dry and nasty. But this one, it just kept going and going, and when you have it in your vanishing point, it writes almost immediately. So that really shocked me. But on top of that, I had a Pilot Metropolitan inked up with this ink. And I don't know about you guys, but I do not like my Pilot Metropolitans. It was one of my very first fountain pens. The converter sucks. It has this squeeze converter where you can't tell how much ink you actually suck up. And the cap seal is not great because the pen would always dry out. I thought that's just how fountain pens were. I even had one for 2 or 3 years and I never looked into any other fountain pens because I thought that's just how they were and it was just kind of meh to me. However, I had it inked this year in a Pilot Vanishing, not in a Pilot Metropolitan, and I had to go to jury duty actually. And I was a little nervous that somehow my fountain pens were going to get confiscated in security or something. I don't know why, because I would imagine that they always see fountain pens going in and out of their courthouse, but I don't know. So I brought that one single pen and it wrote so beautifully the whole time, but it continued to write very, very well throughout the month and a half or more that I had it inked up for, and it never once dried out, even though I would leave it for a few days. And even when I had the Pilot Metropolitan inked with Pilot Iroshizuku Takesumi, it would dry out. So I don't know what is up with this ink that it doesn't really, I wouldn't test it to its limits, but I think it doesn't really dry out as quick as other inks. And that's very, very surprising for a document ink. I just realized I forgot the swirl here, whatever. But yeah, that one stood out to me because I remember it being so reliable and it was just there when I needed it, which is so funny because I never, ever thought I would be so impressed by inks that are just functionally so good. I always thought it would be like which one changes the color the most or has the most shimmer and sheen and shading, but I suppose my tastes have changed over the years. I do wonder if it's easy to clean off, because I do think it did stain my Pilot Vanishing Point, because I left it in for quite a while. But you guys should be fine if you don't neglect your fountain pens like I do. So yeah, I am just making sure it's cleaning off of the nib well enough. So that was number 4, and it's just a very, very good black. I actually don't remember buying this. Is that scary? Where did I buy this from? I remember almost everything related to my pens and ink where I bought it from, but somehow I don't remember this one. That's really strange. Why do I feel like I got it from Jet Pens? Did I get it from Cult Pens? I might have gotten it from Cult Pens, yeah. Alrighty, last but not least is this Wearingeul ink. The Autumn Night After 8,000 Years. I believe I saw this on Leanne Likes channel. I hope that's right. But I remember seeing this ink and immediately being like, I need that ink. It is the perfect green. And it is this shimmer ink, and it is a perfect green. I only got to ink it up one time in my Monteverde Ritma, but I think it was a very good match for that pen. Unfortunately, that pen has been dropped and cannot write properly at this moment, which is very, very sad. But I remember this ink being something that was just so special because it's a very rare moment that I watch a video and immediately I'm like, I need that ink. I don't even care about trying a sample. I know I will like it. And that doesn't happen often for me. This is perfection. This ink is the perfect amount of dark gray green. It's almost like tea, or that's what it reminds me of. But it also has this shimmer to it. Wearingeul. It has a really long name. That's the one downfall. The autumn night after 1,000 years. It flows really, really well. It has this beautiful gold shimmer. Incredible shading. It almost reminds me of Sailor Ryukyucha, which unfortunately my battery died, but we are back. But yeah, this one, it almost reminds me of Sailor Ryukyucha, which is the only bottle I've ever finished. And it is this beautiful like green and black tea mix from my understanding. So this is actually a nice, I wouldn't say replacement because that one is actually a little different, but this is a very, very nice ink and I like it a lot. I love my greens. I need to do my green ink video for my collection of green inks, but this is definitely one of my top ones, and it's one of the ones that is not necessarily because I used it often in 2025 or because it was reliable. It was more so because it's an instant win in my book. Look at that. It's just so beautiful. Foresty green, but with a hint of shimmer. So we've got Ku-jaku, Oyster Hour, Birmingham Pen Co Sterling Silver. See, now it looks more indigo and a flat color, but earlier there was that shiny purple and it's not there anymore. I don't love the way that it dries, but I love seeing it dry. I love watching the process. Document Black from the Atramentis, nice, solid, reliable black. And then Wearingeul, the Autumn Night After 1,000 Years. So, so nice. Lovely abdominal ink and just something very storybook romantic, or not like romantic, but it feels like historical somehow from the name. Feels like it's part of literature. Is it? Is it one of their literature series? I don't know. I should know. Oh well. But yeah, that's all for now, you guys. Did any of these surprise you? I think they all actually surprised me. So it's interesting. But let me know if you own any of these. I'm very curious. This color palette just completely surprised me because it doesn't have any astonishingly beautiful inks that come out at me. Nothing that's like multi-shading, except for this one. But it's just really interesting to see how my tastes have developed. Alrighty, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you check out this video here if you want to see the top 5 fountain pens of 2025 that I've picked. Until then, I hope you guys are having a beautiful day and I will talk to you soon. Bye!